Hi, in this one, we're going to be talking about the set data structure and actually coding it out. So let's just get into it. Now, the first task here is to create two sets of numbers with unique and duplicate values. So let me create two sets. The first one could be called S1 and our curly braces, and maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And well, we want duplicate values, so let's just repeat 10 a couple of times. The second one, let's just bend the question a little bit or the task a little bit and create a set of strings. So let's copy that from our to-do list. So that could be apples, oranges, and bananas. And well, we could have bananas a couple of times. Yeah. So, well, we've got bananas thrice and then apples and oranges one time each. So we have duplicate values in our sets, and let's see if we get all of these values printed when we print these two sets. So for this task, I'm going to print S1 and I'm also going to print S2, just like that. Once we do that, we see that the set really does not print all the duplicate values. It just takes one instance of each duplicated value and prints it. And you could also observe that it's really not ordered in the way we structure it. That is because a set is basically an unordered data structure, so you don't really order items in a set. A set is basically used to have unique items or find out unique items in your data or have a data structure with only unique items. Now, let's use the add function in sets to add a value. So let's take set2, so s2 dot add, and let's add pineapple. Now, ideally, if we'd use the append function here with a list, so let's say this was a list and we'd use the append function, pineapple should have been appended right here. But let's see if it does that. Now I'm just going to run this, and well, it gives us a different output, but it does not really show us pineapple. That is because Python always executes in a top-down fashion, and we do not have a print statement after the set has been updated. So let's put the print statement for the updated set and run it. Now we can see that pineapple actually has been printed here, which is logically correct if we talk about lists. And every time we run it, it's just doing that. But a lot of times what you could see is that a value that you add could be added anywhere randomly because a set is an unordered group of items. Next, let's print all values of a set using a for loop. Now this is fairly simple. It's just like you do it for a list. So for I in our set, which is S2, simply print out I. And when we run this, it prints out all of the values, right? So that's pretty simple. Let's move on to the next task. Print all values of a set using the while loop. Okay, let's see how we could do this. You could try this if you remember it from the list section, or well, you could just go ahead with me and code along. So I equals 0 while I is less than the length of our set S2, print S2 at position I as usual, and then obviously our update statement, which is I equals I plus 1. Now let's see if this actually works, and that runs. When we run that, we get an error. It says type error, set object is not subscriptable. This error basically means that you cannot reference a value in a set using the subscription method. So that is the part about sets. You cannot reference objects because, as I said, it's basically an unordered group of objects or an unordered structure of data. So if you reference a set at position 0 or 1 or 2, it's always going to be different, right? So this really doesn't make sense, and this code is always going to break. Let's move on to the next task and the final task for this coding exercise, which is given a list, remove all repeating items from the list. So let's just take our list S1. In S1, we've got all of these items and we really just want to remove all of these repeating items. So let me create a list with the same items. I'm going to take all of these items, copy them, go down and create L1, which is a list, and paste these items inside that. Let's print out L1 and see if we have all of those items. And yes, we do. We have all the repeating items as well. But now, how are we going to remove all of the repeating items and actually just keep one of them? So there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could use a for loop and we could go through each item. We could count how many items of each number exist in the list and then remove the extra items of the number that exist. So we could count that 10 has like 4 items in the list. So you could basically just create a list with 10 occurring only once along with all of these items. Instead, what you could do is you could write L1 equals set of L1. What this does is it's going to take this list and it's going to typecast this list into a set. So that way, ideally, all the repeating values should go away and only one of these 10s should exist. So let's print L1 after the typecast and see if that worked. And now you can see that it worked. So what if I wanted this to be a list? It's pretty simple. You could write L1 equals list of L1 because L1 is currently a set. So if you typecast a list into a set and then print the list again and run it, you can see that L1 is a list again, and well, you have all unique items or elements in your list. So that's mainly what sets are used for, and we'll be doing a lot of exercises that involve the set data structure so that you can practice them. Look out for the practice videos at the end of the course, which will help you sharpen your skills in almost all of the concepts that we've learned, majorly loops, functions, classes, lists, dictionaries, and obviously the set data structure. Anyways, that was it for this one. If you've got any questions, you can always put them down in the comments and my team or I will get back to you. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.